This is Real Estate MF. It is Wednesday, the 16th of April. Hopefully you did taxes or filed an extension. Let's hear some wins. What kind of wins y'all got? I know you got a win.
I am about to cap in a week.
Yes.
So
Woo.
I got my first CDA. That was a fully capped. Like I've got four coming up. So the first one was like the prorated, and then the second one was my first ever CDA at like a cap. So I was very excited to see that.
That is fantastic. Great job. Jamie came from a brokerage where I don't think you ever capped, right? So there was never an opportunity to
We
make
didn't have that.
yeah, to make 100%. So she's getting ready to experience life at 100%.
That CDA number is ooh, I want to go out on the town.
All right. It's good stuff. Just remember to set aside taxes first.
Of course.
That's what I was taught in the beginning.
Yes.
Put the taxes aside first. So
Yes.
that is so exciting. Well, congrats.
Yeah. It's not to like rub it in, but to make it extra sweet. It's it's not my biggest sale to date, but it's a very big one.
That's
So
awesome.
to see that full number is really cool.
That is very cool. I love it. I love it. That is fantastic. Yeah, when I first got started, someone taught me to do. We had it broken down. It was like, I broke it out over, but out of every check, it was this. I was trying to say 30% was for taxes, which was way too high, but it's what we did. And then 10 was for 10% was for each kid, like because like just allotting money for them for like stuff they need in their life. And then I think I did 30% for like family bills because I have Wally that helps. And then the other 20% was to go either, well, here we'll do it 10. We'll do 10 back into the business and then 10 savings. So that was really good. Um, I know what it was. The kid was there. We did a 529, which is where you save money for them for college. Hey, Wahid. So, I, so we did 30% for like let's say I got a $10,000 check. 3,000 went to taxes. Just I put it in a Capital One, so it would gain interest. Capital One 360, you can gain interest. And then I put 10% in a. So I'd put $1,000 in a 529 for Chloe, $1,000 in a 529 for Griffin. I took 3,000 and put it into our family bills. I did $1,000 into my business and then $1,000 into savings. So that has proved successful for me. If anybody else has a formula they use, we can share that as well. But that worked out nicely. Who else has a win? That was a segue, but let's come back. I am okay, Wahid. Thank you for asking. I hope you are as well. We are talking real estate Monday through Friday, and so right now we celebrate wins. Um, Yay! Thank you for popping in, Summick. Who else has a win?
Hi there. Can you hear me?
Uh huh.
I'm going to be going to do a speed tour today.
Not sure exactly
what time, but I'm having an actual one. So just follow me around with the camera.
I love it.
So find somebody to chase me. All right, that's difficult.
It is.
Don't you think people would love to chase me? I don't know why that's not on top of people's lists.
Right? What the heck? Wahid, I'm Robin Mann. All right. Oh, let's see. Mackenzie. See, Mackenzie, we have missed you. I don't know where the heck you've been, but here we are. We're so glad that you're here. Oh wait, let me see. Let me push this. Let me go.
I've tried to get on, and I don't know, it wouldn't work.
Well, last week I was not here. Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So, this week I am here.
Okay. What do you mean you made 2 offers, but people are becoming more active? They don't think it's going to work.
I don't think the 2 offers. One of them I know isn't going to work out. The other one we're still kind of playing with to see if we can make it work. There's some issues with my coconuts.
Right.
Bananas.
You get coconuts? Man, I only get bananas. Skirt.
So that's one of the issues. But yeah, but I'm just saying, I feel like people are like they're starting to come out and like
Be out
get back
there.
into the game a little bit more.
I agree. Well, I agree and I don't, but I do agree. Yes. So Mackenzie says she made 2 offers over the weekend. She doesn't think they're going to work out. She also feels that people are becoming more active. So that is a win. Good job. Who else has a win? All right, I have a win. You guys, you'll have to hang in there with me because this is a story, but you'll like it. You'll see what Max said. Just wondering if you're in real estate, do you think the interest rate will come down some? I'm in the middle of a new home build. Well, good for you. I would say speak to your lender about when is the best time to lock in your rate, and it's projected all over the place. One day they're saying it's coming down, one day they say it's going up, and until there's some stability in our nation and our everything. I don't think anyone can really answer that question. The projections for 2025 is that they are not going to go down significantly. Is that true still, everyone that you've seen? Yeah, everybody's nodding their heads. So, anybody else got a win before I tell my story? Okay. So yesterday I got a call from I set up a call. One of my sellers wanted to talk, and their home has been on the market 4 days shy of the average days on market before contract. So let's say 30 days is the average. We're on day 26. Okay. So when we met initially, I said that we should list at 400. They said they wanted to list at, let me think what they say, 420. Okay. So I said to them, I understand you want to list at 420. Here are the facts. We can do that. I'm going to request that if we do that, that after 7 days of no showings or 14 days of no offers, we drop the price. They said, great. So, well, thank you, Accordon. I'll answer that in just a second, Samek. So I said 40, they said 4. Actually, I think they may have said 425. Like it was a pretty sizable difference. 3, 7. It was 25 grand. So yeah, it was 25 grand. It was 25 grand difference. They wanted 425. I wanted 400. So they set up, I know, right? They set up a call yesterday with me, and they were like, hey, this was how they led the call. Okay. Very wonderful people. I've known them for a while. We're pretty honest with each other. She's very blunt, and this was the call. Hey, I'm so sorry to hear about your sister, and I hope you're moving past that. And what has happened to Robin Mann? And I was like, well, what do you mean? And she continues. She said, well, on all your stuff, it says you've sold a home a week since 2016, 2017. And I don't know, when we first met you, you seemed to have this fire and this, you were really rampant, like high energy. And, I don't know, you just had, we're in the ER the other week, and you had so that kind of took you down a little bit. And then, your sister died, and that took you out a little bit. Like, what's going on?
Life. Hello.
So I was like, okay. I was like, well, the real Robin Mann's still here. The market has changed significantly in the last few years. And I was like, and then she gave it up. She said, I know you initially said to list at 400, and we wanted 425. And I was like, yep. And I said, and that plays into you're so complimentary. Thank you, Accordum. That plays into the narrative here. I was like, so, you know, I'm working for you. Even when I was in the hospital, that was only a day, and I still sat in the ER on my phone doing work. And even when my sister died, um, I still had people handling things, and I was checking emails and such. So, anyways, we talked. They decided to drop to the original price that I had recommended, and we got off the phone. And I was like, I felt kicked in the teeth. I was like, well, damn, like, and I wanted to cry. I felt very sad because I was just like, I am doing this. Like, I do reverse prospecting. I do marketing. I do go look for people. I do open houses. I do all the things. All the things. Put it on all the things. And she's not seeing that. So initially I was sad, and then I'm reading that book Let Me by or Let Them, was it Let Them Theory by Mel Robbins. And I was like, you know what? It's my fault. I should have never agreed to the high listing number. And this story will be the story that I tell in the future when the seller says, I want 425 and I say 400. I'm going to say, we can do that. And you're going to be very frustrated. After 2 to 3, 4 weeks, you're going to be really upset with me that your home hasn't sold. So as far as I'm concerned, like what I'm going to send an email to those people today is just say, today restarts the clock. We are now at the price that I recommended 46 days ago. We would be under contract by now, in my opinion, had you listed at the price that I recommended. And so, let's go team. I'm revamping marketing. I'm doing all these things, and I'm going to start communicating better with them. I have not communicated wonderfully well because, my sister died, and I thought I was having a heart attack. It's still my job to communicate with them. So my feelings can be hurt. I also have to own it. And I also have to give them responsibility for their piece. So I told you all of that so that you could maybe, like, what I did do really well in that whole scene was I paused. I did not react and respond to her and go, what the fuck are you talking about? It's not even F-Bomb Friday, Jem. I didn't. I just listened, and I was like, huh. And then when I got off the phone, I processed. So let's share some feedback on that story. Anyone want to talk?
I probably wouldn't be that personal to say we would have sold by now if you listened to me.
Right.
I would just go to ChatGPT and ask ChatGPT to create a politically correct language for you. Okay,
yes.
There's got to be a better one than that.
Okay? Yeah, no, I would never say it that way, but that would be the gist. That would be the gist of it. But yes.
Right. Something. Hey, we tried, and my job is to definitely get you the best price we can, and we tried. Looks like typically within 10 showings we should have received an offer. We didn't. So what is it that that you want to do, and maybe go deep. What would it do to you if we don't sell?
I already know. I already have all those answers.
There we go. Right.
Yeah.
What would it do to you if you don't sell? Would it prevent you from moving to Tampa? Would it prevent you from
buying,
building that property where you want to move to, whatnot? So
yeah.
If you go deep, I think that going deep and cutting to the bone can rectify some of that.
Yeah, no, I already have those answers. Like, I already have those answers. And they even said, we want to be, this is what they said a couple weeks ago, that we want to be we've only been on the market 30 something days. We want to wait. The average time on market for going into contract is 46 days. We want to wait. So I don't know that she remembers what she said, but so I'm not going to place blame on them. I'm not going to get angry at them. I'm not going to do anything to tarnish the relationship.
Don't place blame on yourself. You don't accept the blame either.
Exactly. And I'm not going to accept the blame.
You did what you were supposed to. You did what they asked.
Yes.
We're not going to accept responsibility for their thinking that they were the expert.
Exactly.
Period.
Thank you, Teresa. Yes, thank you. What else? Who else has a feedback to the story? When you receive a call like that, How would you react? What would you say? What's the right thing to do? What should I have done to prevent it? So Michael, you missed it. Short story is have sellers, they wanted a price 25 grand that I wanted. I said fine, but we'll do price drops. When I said it was time to price drop, they didn't want a price drop. So now it's 42 days later. Average days on market before in a contract is 46, and they're frustrated because the home hasn't sold. And they want to know what has happened. What has happened to Robin? What, the superstar person that sells a home a week? What has happened to her? Why has she not sold her home? So
Can't control the market, and I already told you that we were overpriced.
right.
So, I mean, all what we can do now is lower the price, like I said.
Mm-hmm.
Reach back out to all those people that came in the beginning and see if they're still interested.
Yes.
And also, I'd like to add, like, you did a really good job of kind of bouncing back, and of course, it's natural for us to always internalize and kind of like beat ourselves up or get down over comments or feedback like that. But their tactic of like deflecting their frustration of their house not selling onto your personal life and personal self is very common to deflect it away. Like, it's easier to deal with our frustration if we make it like, oh gosh, it's where have you been, Robin? Like,
Right.
why have you been dealing with your personal life? Like, it's easier to do that than say like, shit, our house hasn't sold, you know? So we have to, in this business, unfortunately, sometimes compartmentalize our own emotions, because naturally that sort of thing would get anybody down. We have to say, gosh, that's just a normal human tactic. They're frustrated. I'm not going to take it personally. I'm going to move on and sell their house. And so I give you a lot of credit for being able to bounce up and do that.
Thank you. Yes, in my early years, this would have knocked me down for a few days. So I am working on my recovery time and owning what I own and owning what they own. This says Dad is entering the waiting room. I'm not sure who Dad is, but if y'all be prepared for Dad. Let's see who it is. He's here. I don't know who his dad is. Okay, so Jim, I'm going to come back to your win. Yes, provide weekly updates. I do provide weekly updates. The thing that they are remembering this seller is that they were a buyer the last time. So my buyers, I am more frequently, you're on the daily, you're on the hourly. Let's go see this house. Whereas a seller, I'm not on the hourly, on the daily. I'm more on the every 5 days, every 7 days, and I'll remind them of that. So, anywho, I just wanted you guys to reflect on it and think. The big takeaway is I should have, and it's hard to do this. This is something I struggled deeply with. I should have declined the listing. I should have said, look, if you're not willing to list it at what I recommend, because I know I'm showing you the numbers. I can't figure out which side it's this side. That my hair was messed up on. I'm showing you the numbers. I'm showing you the facts. You're not going to sell. We're going to be sitting on the market and just wasting time if we list at 425. And that's proof in the pudding right there. We've been on the market 42 days. I believe we would have sold by now. I don't know it, but when I look at all the others, that there's only been 2 in that place that have gone under contract, I believe we would have won. We would have beat them.
You also got to remember too that we work for them.
Yes.
And it's whatever they say. So if you would have said that, well, if you're not going to do what I tell you to do, then in their mind it's like, well, I hired you.
Right.
So I tell you to do. That's basically how this relationship works, and it's rather unfortunate that they don't listen to I'm doing what you tell me to do, but I need you to listen to my professional advice.
Right.
My
And the
professional
facts.
opinion is this. And look at the facts. I have the numbers. What numbers do you have to prove that you can get this, what you're asking?
Right.
We need to come to a happy medium, or we may need to part ways. Find someone that's going to do exactly what you say,
right,
without the numbers.
Which there's the piece. That's the sucker, because you want to get paid. You want the lead. You want the listing. You want the job. But I'm sitting here with this listing, not getting paid, spending more of my time, more of my energy. It's going to cost me, and I'm learning this as I speak it right now. It is going to cost me more time and money and resources to take an overpriced listing than it is to not take one. To go find one that's going to trust me and believe in me and say, and that's what I do want, and it's a good idea, Kevin. I do want to go to Chat GPT and say, I want them to figure out the right words that say, I told you so, but in a nicer way.
Use their words back to them.
Right. Oh, say that again, Diane.
Use their words back to them.
Yeah.
So whatever it is, I mean, not in a bad way. I'm just saying,
Yeah.
Use their words because those were their words.
Right. Yeah. What were you gonna say, Michael?
Documentation and trends are your friend.
Yes.
Which it's easy to say it now, but like each week I would have said, okay, what's your frustration level?
That's a great question.
Week one, scale of 1 to 10. What's your frustration level?
Right.
Well, week 1, 1, 2, and then you'll see it spike.
Well, yeah, I love that.
And then last week your frustration level was 2, and now it's a 10.
Yeah.
What's changed?
Good. I love that.
I love that.
That's a great one.
Has anyone ever, excuse me, when you have an overpriced seller right off the bat when you're in the listing appointment, I think I saw just briefly pop up in the chat, Jim say like, I wouldn't turn down the listing, but, and I couldn't read the rest because I'm driving, but what about saying like, hey, look, I think it's overpriced, but I'm willing to try as long as you sign a longer commitment with me than what my normal commitment would be, because I think it's going to take longer at that price. Like, has anyone ever tried that?
I like that.
Yeah, no, this is a long listing agreement. It's a great idea. And then yes, Jim, we had a pricing. I told them, yes, we'll take it at $425 if within 2 weeks we don't have an offer, or 14 or 10 days. No, what is it? 7 days no showings, 10 days no offers. We got to drop. And we had one offer. We had 1.5 offers. We had one offer that was silly. And then we had a half offer that was a great offer, but then they backed out before it even came to fruition. Like, they backed out. So that gave them the fuel to say, oh, look, we had an offer. We don't have to price drop. It gave me the fuel to say, look, these were not valid offers. So we got a price drop. So it's okay. It's a communication thing. And it's, I love that frustration label. I love what Jamie just said about a longer time period.
I would also ask, do you want to be on the market or in the market?
Damn, Michael is Michael, where have you been? We missed you so
Yesterday
much.
I had a doctor appointment. Today I was getting my hair cut.
On the market. Let's see your hair. Wait, I missed it. Show us. Oh, you did so nice. On the market or in the market. I love it.
I mean, I think that's a classic line just for any
Mm-hmm.
listing that wants to go higher. It's like, is your goal to be on the market or in the market?
Yes.
And the other thing that analogy I like to use is the Kentucky Derby.
Yeah.
Do you know how many horses run in the Kentucky Derby? 20 horses run in the Kentucky Derby.
Okay.
You know how many horses win money in the Kentucky Derby?
How many?
I think it's like 7.
Really?
It's not just the top 3. And so we just have, and that's where you can start using market statistics. So saying, we don't need to be the lowest priced property. We don't need to be the highest priced property. But we've got to be somewhere in that range.
Right.
So is your horse going to run, to get the highest price, to get the highest purse, right? You have to be the fastest horse. Are we the fastest horse here at being overpriced?
I love it. I don't know. I love it. It's a great question.
But you gotta do some self-discovery with them, because I think sometimes we bang our heads against the objections that people present, and we've got to help them kind of self-discover of what they're doing. Because we know when you overprice a listing, like the golden time for your listing is the first week, maybe 2 weeks.
Right.
And after that, it's like bread.
Yep. It's stale.
You leave the bread out on the counter, it gets stale.
Mm-hmm.
And people start making their own questions of what's wrong with this property. Well, it's overpriced, and that's why you got the sounds like a lowball offer
I did
or absurd offer.
use facts with her yesterday, which I was very proud of, because I did spend time yesterday researching the property, the neighborhood before the call, because I knew we were going to have the call. And I knew her thing was going to be, well, it's going to look like our home is bad if we drop the price. And I had already looked up in the MLS that day and said there were 500 more price drops than there were new listings. And I was like, it is the norm to be price dropping right now. So
In my MLS, actually, when you do a one-line view of comparables, you can pick arrow down or arrow up, and you can see, and they're different colors, and you can clearly see the price drops.
oh, I'll have to look for that. We have a thing over here. Let's see. Samak has said a few things. Her fiance lives in the neighborhood that the average square foot home between 1,200 to about 1,350. It's an older neighborhood. They have built newer homes that have sold at 250 to 300. There are also rental properties. My fiance is in a rental. The homeowner thinks the home is worth more than what it's worth. She thinks the house would go for that upper market price, but and it's cut off. Sa was saying, I don't know Samak's real name, but if it doesn't sell for what you want, show them the going price in the area. Yes, Samak. I think Samak is just a fun person that popped in here.
One of the questions that I asked during a listing agreement or listing appointment is, everybody's motivated by time or money? Motivated more by time or money?
Yes.
And so to determine which one you are,
Mm.
is it more important to get this sold fast? Or
Mhm.
I have a seller right now who is fine with hers. It's been on the market way longer than I want it on.
Right.
She want to drop it because she's fine.
Right.
She has the time. Money is more important to her at this point than the time.
Right. Well, and that's funny. Their motivation was, and she's such a quirky, cool lady. Like, I actually love her. Her answer would be yes. That's exactly what her answer would be.
I
Yeah.
think you could go back to her with that and say, I think you were more motivated by money first, and now it seems that you're more motivated by time.
Right. But still money. They don't want to take less than
Well,
this.
it's not either or. It's just more.
Right. Right. That's a good question.
You need to come up with a three-legged stool thing. Like when I used to do
Yes.
project management,
Mhm.
it's quality, time, and money.
Right.
Choose two.
Right.
You can't have all three.
Right.
The three just don't exist.
Right.
But you can have two.
You can have two. Which two?
Right.
I love it. I love it. Yeah. So, I will say my onus in it is one, I should have communicated more, and two, I should not have accepted the higher price. I should have just had the strength to say no. But I wanted the listing because I know a listing is a closing, which equals that's money. But a listing is not a closing that equals money if it's overpriced and it doesn't sell. So, I'm teaching myself as we speak. So, let's see if anybody missed.
Charge them more next time.
Charge them more.
Yeah. Because when I'm asked what's my commission, my answer is always the same. It all depends on how much work I expect to do.
Right.
So if you want me to take an overpriced listing, I'm willing to do it. But then my fee is going to be this.
I love that.
Mhm.
Because I'm going to have to work a lot harder to get this thing sold. It's going to go above and beyond what I would typically do.
I love that because that's so very true.
Right.
I love that. That's a great point. Michael's on
That's
fire
fine.
today.
You can. I'm happy to list it at whatever price you want. My
Love
data
it.
shows this is the more reasonable price range. And if you want to do it higher than that, then my fee has to go up miserably, not just because of the price.
Right.
Because the other argument you get kicked back is, well, you just want to make money. It's like, yeah, we all like to get paid for our work, right?
Right.
But if you're going to make me work harder, because I've charged outrageous, I've charged as hard as 30%.
30 coconuts.
So that doesn't
Um,
protect you.
I love that. That's very good. Michael, we've missed you. Thank you for being here today. Actually, all of you, we missed you. Thank you for being here today. Diane, Jeresia, Mackenzie, Dad, Jim, Kevin, everybody showed up. I don't know who Dad is, but we're glad you're here. Mac over here says the house will never sell for what she thinks it's worth. You gotta sell it for what it's worth. You're exactly right. So we will be back tomorrow. Go make today a good day. It's beautiful out here in Charlotte. So breathe deep, smile, and come back with a win tomorrow. Okay? High fives. Have a super great day. Talk to you soon. Bye. Thanks for being here. Yes, I would say recast later, and that will help you. So if you're still here, yeah, recast it in the build. And the housing market. I don't know where you are. The housing market is inventory still up where I live. I'm in Charlotte, but I think nationwide it's in the majority of the places it's still up, which means it's still a seller's market. But there are parts of the world that are a buyer's market. So, oh, good. Oh, you're upstate South Carolina. Oh, yay! I live. I'm in the Charlotte, North Carolina area. I'm licensed in South Carolina as well. So the majority of South Carolina, I would say, is still doing well. If you are doing new construction, make sure I hope you've already signed, but get incentive, see if they have any incentives for you. But then also, if you have a realtor, great. If you don't, I would recommend a new home inspection, pre-drywall, just to make sure that everything's good, because a lot of people don't get that. It's worth the money if you have an extra $500. Get a pre-drywall inspection. And then also you can get one after the drywall when the house is complete, because they're it's just a bunch of workers out there. They make mistakes, so it pays, I think, to get an inspection. So if you need more, let me know, and I appreciate you popping in today. I hope we'll see you again. So I always end with a high five. All right, we'll see you soon. Thank you. If you need more, just message me. All right, bye.